And I'm going to give you 7 minutes to do this page. It will not take you 7 minutes because there is no calculating involved. All right? So everybody hide your calculator. You don't need it. Put it away, out of reach. You don't need to touch it for this whole page. And you will use this page as a good base for what you are doing in the future. Now, the first question says, find me the sign of A. Where is big A? Right there. Sine is what?
Adjacent over.
Opposite over hypotenuse. What is opposite to A? 5. What is the hypotenuse?
13.
So it's 5 over 13, yes?
Yes.
There it is, number 1. So every number 1 gets an R. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. What is the cosine of A? So what's adjacent to A? 12 over 13, which is I. That's a number 2. So every number 2 gets an I. There's one right there. Okay. Number 3, tan of A. Opposite over adjacent. 5 over 12. E. Every 3 gets an E. Aight?
Yes.
Please notice, we are not ever calculating it. You are just finding the ratio. This is practice for looking across or adjacent and hypotenuse. All you have to do is come up with the fractions. You can see that it should take about 20 seconds per one, right? Now notice this one just changes. We're going from B now. Same numbers. Go. This should take about 6 minutes. So, of course, this one is 4, and cos of B 5, and tan of B 6. Where's the 7?
7 is what?
Where's the 7? I, E, U, or R? I. Where's the 8?
E.
E. Where's the 8 has no room. 8. Where's the 9?
R.
R. Oh. Where's the 9? R. Where's the 10?
A. Wait.
10. Where's the 11?
U.
U. Where's the 12?
I.
I. Where's the 13? Tricky.
H.
13 is H. 3/5. Sign of A. Nope.
Oh.
It is E. There is 13. Where's the cos of A? H. There's the 14. And where's the tan? F.
Okay.
Now, what about 16?
N.
The 16 is with the N?
3 over.
Yeah, I'm just trying to find room for
I.
it. 16, I'll put it there. Where's the 17?
I.
I. And where's the 18?
W.
W. Where's the 19?
C.
C. Damn it. 19. Where's the cos? 20.
R.
R. And where's the 21?
L.
And 22.
T.
23.
T.
24.
B.
And then you would fill in the bottom. I'm not going to do that.
I'm gonna do it.
You can find that out later for it to find out the funny joke. Now, why did I give you this page and make you do the same thing a million times? Because that will help you. Now you should be able to look at a triangle after doing it 24 times in a row without having to do anything else. You should be able to find your opposites, adjacents, and hypotenuses. Right? You should be able to do it because I didn't ask you anything else. Just find them. Turn the page over. Again, lots of drawn triangles. What do you have in 1? Do you have a theta?
Yes.
Do you have an hypotenuse?
Yes.
And you need an opposite. Which one is that?
That's tan.
No.
No.
It's got a hypotenuse, so it's sine. Now, you will notice, if you actually do the first one, you have a sine 32 equals x over 4. Right? You had the hypotenuse. The hypotenuse always is in the denominator, right?
Why is it x over 4 not
So, because it's opposite over hypotenuse, the same way it's always been.
Okay.
Because you have the hypotenuse, you know you have to multiply there, right? Mm-hmm. So if ever you have the hypotenuse, if it happens once in math, how often does it happen? Every time. So if I have the hypotenuse, am I going to be multiplying or dividing?
You multiply.
You're going to be multiplying.
2 points.
End of discussion. So, am I going to multiply here? Yeah. It's going to be 4 sine 32. I'm just out of room, so I just wrote S. What about this one? Do I have the hypotenuse?
Yes.
So it's going to be
Sine.
22 sine 57. What about this one?
Cos.
No, I don't have a hypotenuse.
So,
So it can't be sine or cos. What is it?
tan.
Tan. In tan, I have the adjacent. That goes on the bottom, yes? So this has to be 30 tan 20. Everybody with me?
Yes. Do we have to solve for the hypotenuse?
No, not yet.
Okay.
What you are going to do with this is I want all of these. I do not want you going to your calculator yet. I want all of these.
Oh, you don't want the answer?
Not yet. Again, I'll say it for the third time. I only want this. That is your practice here. Go.
8 cosine 39.
8 cos 39. What will 5 be?
15 sine 61.
No. 15 cos 61. What will 6 be? Adjacent. We're up here now.
Okay.
6.
Sine
200 sine 18. This one.
5 tan 43.
5 tan 43.
70 tan 76.
70.
Tan.
70 cos 76. That's a hypotenuse.
Okay.
I turn the triangle over. 9. 20 tan 48. 1000 sine 2.
And 9 cos 7.
9 cos
55.
55. Now later on your own time, you're going to punch those into your calculator. You're going to solve this. Okay?
Later when we want to, or just when we have
Turn the page over. What is different here?
We don't have an angle.
You don't have an angle, so you are doing shift. But is every theta indicated for you?
Yes.
Yes. So if this is theta, what do I have in n?
You have the hypotenuse and the opposite.
So it is shift sine
Sine.
3/5, right?
Yes.
Do that for all of these.
You want the answer?
No.
No
No.
horsepower whatsoever.
No, it shouldn't be. All right, ladies and gentlemen.
All right, thanks for the
See you,
jokes.
Mr. Whitman.
I love the jokes. Those are so
You just come in for the jokes.
And if you're short of coffee, come down anytime.
Oh, you know I will.
Okay.
Mr. Whitman takes good care of me. All right, you.
Shift,
No. You. Not you.
Shift sine 4 over 11.
Yeah. Shift sign 4/11. C.
Shift cos 5 over
Shift
8.
cos.
Oh, 5 over 8.
Shift cos 5/8.
Ha.
Oh.
Shift
Shift.
tan 9 over 10.
Shift tan 9/10. Okay, we don't need the shift anymore. I know what it is.
Okay, cos 13 over 15.
Cos 13/15.
P is tan 50 over 20.
Oh, I didn't fool anybody on that one. 50 over 20 when I moved it up there.
Nope.
W.
Wait, what
No.
about Coast? Coast.
Cos 21
What
30ths.
about A?
I.
Okay. Sin. Sine 25 over 45.
25 45ths.
A
And
is
A.
10, 1 over 12.
No. Sine 1/12.
Oh my god.
All right. Okay, Zach.
Just the flipping
I'll let it go.
triangles, like-
Relax, dude. L.
Sine 30 over 20.
Sine 3/20ths. R.
10, 16 over 36.
10 16 36ths. I know. My mother-in-law says sixths.
6.
She does sixths. She doesn't say the X. She said
More
six.
harder for herself.
All right.
10, 10 over 16.
10 16ths and
Sine 8 over 200.
sine 8 over 200. All right. Now,
This is great.
without having the added stress of actually having to find an answer,
Yes.
how difficult is trig?
Not that.
Not at all.
Dude, I'm so
Should
struggling.
anybody by this point, should anybody be looking at a triangle with this expression on their face?
No.
What?
Your face right now. You should see your face right now. You should legit see your face right now.
Okay, but seriously, folks, you're going to go back in a little bit, and you're going to take care of that. Okay? The jokes are funny. Okay? Well, 3 out of 4 of them are
Wait, are
funny.
you going to want us to go back and get the answers because we want to? Or
No, but there's 4 jokes, because the last page has 2 jokes on it. Please listen up. I want for you now, on page 60, we're not going to do them all.
Oh.
We're going to do 4, 5, and 6 is really hard to read, so I'm going to draw it in yellow so you can see it better. 7, sorry. This is readable. It's 25.23. And this in here, I can't remember what it is, so I'm going to say it's 55.6 is the angle. I want you to do 4, 5, and 7. Work together if you need to. Please notice that 4, 5, and 7 are no different than the 30 questions you just did. Except this time, I'm actually asking you to use your calculators. Go. At least number 4 done. Just 4. Well, you just did like 30 of number 4. So what is it? What are you going to punch into your calculator? Because the answer's right there. I don't care about the answer. What are you putting in your calculator? Why did I just make you practice it? Not sine. Cos. 5. Oops, that's yellow. 5.5 cos 72. What's the answer? It's on the page. I don't care. I don't care. What are you doing for B? 4.2 cos 41. What are you doing for C? It's the exact same question, ladies and gentlemen. Notice the pattern, please. 11.4 cos 62. What about this one? 8.6 cos 23. Now, please, ladies and gentlemen, notice. They're all the same thing. You do not need to look at every question like, oh my God, how do I do this one? Because they're all the same. You guys too often treat your brain like your calculator. You finish one question, then you push clear. And all the knowledge that you had right here is gone out of your head. And you go to the next question. That's exactly the same thing. And say, oh, I know what to do. Right? 5, go. Use your logic. When you knew the hypotenuse, you multiplied, correct? What is the opposite of knowing the hypotenuse? Not knowing the hypotenuse. So what is the opposite of division? Of multiplication? Division. So, in this one, you took your known one and multiplied it by your ratio. So in this one, you must be taking your known one and dividing it by your ratio. Okay. It's common sense. You don't even need... The only trig lesson you need is SOHCAHTOA. Because everything else is grade 5 algebra or using logic, yes? So let's look at B. Again, I don't know my hypotenuse. When I knew my hypotenuse, it was hypotenuse times the ratio. But now I don't. So it must be...
6.2 divided by 10.
No. 6.2 divided by cos 51. Because you needed a hypotenuse. Therefore, it cannot be tan.
But we have the opposite, not the adjacent.
Oh, sorry. So it should have been sine. Sorry. 6.2 divided by sine 51. What about C? So what is C? 6.8 divided by cos 28. What is D? 8.3 divided by sine 42.
With B though, we don't have the hypotenuse and sine loses the hypotenuse. So when it be 10,
No. All right. Is everybody good? Now, apply it. In the real world, I got to measure across a gorge. Maybe I'm building a bridge. Maybe I'm stringing a telephone wire. Who knows? Can I throw a tape measure across that? No. So I have to have another way to measure it. Can I? Sure I can. If I stand right here and I look across at a tree, right? Then I walk down here and I look at the same tree. That gives me this angle, doesn't it? Which gives me this angle, doesn't it? Because once you know one angle, you know the other one. Can I measure this? Of course I can, because it's on the same side of the gorge. Once I have a distance and a angle, I know both sides, don't I? C to E is this one. It's hard to see because it's yellow. C to E is that one, the hypotenuse, yes? So what do I need? Cos. Now, I don't know the hypotenuse. So is it divide or multiply? Divide. 25.23 divided by cos 55.6. Now, I don't know if that answer is going to be right because I can't read what this angle was. I just thought it was 55.6. Oh, okay. I can't read it on my screen, so whatever. That's why I told you it was 55.6. Now, what options do you have for doing B? Zach? You could do Pythagoras, because now you know the hypotenuse in one leg. What else could you do? Sine? Because you could do sine, because you know the hypotenuse and you need the opposite. Could you do tan? Yes, because you have a theta and an adjacent and you need an opposite. All three would work. Is everybody good? Okay. Now, I would like for you, we have 25 minutes left in class. You're going to have 2 jobs today. 1, you're going to find the answer to all those funny jokes. Not yet. 2, you're going to turn to page 64 because page 64 is exactly what you just did on the last question on page 60. So, what instruction is given there? Solve the triangle, yes? If you were on Scooby-Doo's team, you were the 4th dog, Super Doo. No, Scrappy Doo doesn't deserve to even be mentioned. No. Scrappy Doo is a waste of skin. Because he's stupid. Scooby-Doo, awesome. Scooby-Dee, awesome and pretty. Scooby-Dumb, hilarious. You don't know Scooby-Doo and Scooby-Dee? Or Scooby-Dumb and Scooby-Dee? Scooby-Dumb is Scooby-Doo's gray cousin who wears a hat and is stupid. Scooby-Dee is their girl cousin that both Scooby-Dum and Scooby-Doo have the hots for. They're dogs! How do you think? It doesn't matter! They're dogs! Now, let's pretend you are the 4th dog. The 4th dog, SOHCAHTOA Doo. Scooby-Doo, Scooby-Dee, Scooby-Dum, SOHCAHTOA Doo. Or Scooby has to begin with a D and it has to do with math. Scooby. Can't think of one. Anyway, if you were on the group, if you were in Scooby-Doo's group and you were solving a case at the end of the episode, what would you do? You explain every part of the mystery, yes? How the strange sound ooh was made. Wind blowing over bottles by a window, always. How did the ghost appear to fly across the room? Always a projector. No screen, but amazingly in 1968, when they had Scooby-Doo, they could project holograms, even though we can't do it very well now. And it was always the old guy who wanted to own the mill. Tear off his mask and explain. So, I see your hand. If you whistle for me again, I will send you to the doghouse, where dogs belong. All right? As I was saying, you tell everything about the mystery. So if you're going to solve a triangle, what do you tell me? Everything about the triangle. What are the only 6 pieces of information that every triangle shares? 3 sides and 3 angles. So to solve a triangle, you must tell me 3 sides and 3 angles. In this triangle here, What does that mean? That means I need to find 2 of the sides and 1 of the angles. Now, this is what I like to do. What is the operative word in that sentence I just gave you? I'll say it again slower. This is what I like to do. What is the operative word in that sentence? The word you was not in that sentence at all. I am going to make a decision here. When you do this, you make the decision. So my first step is always to label what is missing. This side is unknown. Zach, in a math question, if you don't know an answer, what do you give it? Exactly. That was kind of the point of why I was asking you. I'm going to be asking Donish the next question because he has no idea that I'm talking to him either. If you don't know a value in a math question, what do you give it? You give it a variable. Are there rules about giving variables to triangles? Yes. What is that rule? It's a lowercase or an uppercase. If it's a side, what is it? Excellent. So this, being a side, must need a lowercase letter. What lowercase letter should it have? B. Now, why is that weird? Because you people have been trained that the hypotenuse of a triangle has to be the letter C. No, of course it doesn't. But you've been trained A squared, B squared, C squared. So your brains, because you don't actually bother to learn what is going on, you learn what you're told. Which is perfect for the world because the people in power will tell you what to do and you will just say, okay. What should this side be? Lil C. And this side, this angle already has a name. What is it? Big C, because it's already there. Now, is there any way, considering what we have just done, that you can see any way to find either little b or little c right now? Everybody stop and think of something you could do to find either little b or little c right now. Don't do it. Don't say anything out loud. Just think of something you could do to do little b or little c. I'm going to wait 30 seconds while you think of it. You may want to write it down, what you are going to do. Okay. Is there anybody in the room that was working on finding little b? No, that wasn't what I asked, Ariana. I asked if there was anybody in the room looking at finding little b. Excellent. What did you do? So what did you do?
So I did 41 divided by 60, sine 69.
And that got you little b, correct?
Yes.
Now, it will, this on your calculator is just going to give you a number, yeah?
Yep.
Okay. Is there anybody that was working on little c? What did you do, Joseph?
I went 65 plus 90.
No, that's big C.
Oh, that's big C. Oops, no, I was working.
Was anybody working on little c? Excellent. I'm going to do little c. Little c is opposite 41 over adjacent. So it is 41 divided by tan 65. And that will get me little c, won't it?
Yes.
Right? Okay. Now, then the only thing that is missing now is big C, which is, of course, 180 degrees in a whole triangle. 90 of it is used up right there. So little c has to be 90 minus 65. Now, if you did little c first, could you still do little b? Yes. If you did little b first, could you still do little c? Yes. If you did little c first, do you need to do trigonometry to find little b? No, because then you would have two sides of a triangle and you could have done Pythagoras. Who makes those choices? You do. And the reason you are all having trouble with Math 10 is because you have been given power over math. And all of you, all of a sudden, are scared to death that you are going to do something wrong. I don't know where that fear comes from, because previous to this year, if you did something wrong, your teacher patted you on the head and said, try it again. And if you did it wrong all year, your teacher patted you on the head and said, go into the next grade. So you don't need to be scared of doing anything wrong. And yet, you are. You are paralyzed by it. There is no need to be, because none of this counts for anything. But if you don't pay attention, you spend the whole class giggling, then when it becomes time for it to count, what is going to happen? You're going to produce nothing. And what will I then be able to assess? Nothing. It is not a complicated equation. Now, I will point out again, when you did 30 of these in a row, all of a sudden, the next few were very easy. It got easier when you got up to 24 when we started here, didn't it? If that little experiment doesn't prove to you how important it is to do a bit of practice, I cannot help you. Understand? Okay. Your job today, tonight, you have a little quiz tomorrow. You are going to solve these. You're actually going to do all these calculations. It'll take you about a minute per page on your calculator to go 55 cos 22. Right? Then you're going to do the bottom of page 64. Now you'll notice I gave you no answers here, did I? But I showed you what you needed to do. You should find those answers. Little c equals, little b equals, big C equals. Everybody cool? Tomorrow, your quiz is on only triangles. No word problems, just triangles. And we have practiced it to death.